Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Political Access. Today, I thought I'd take a look at another campaign ad. This time, it's for Liz Cheney. So let's get into it, and we'll stop and see what we have to say along the way.
In our nation's 246-year history, there has never been an individual who is a greater threat to our republic than Donald Trump.
Okay, here we've got Dick Cheney, Liz's dad, who's obviously going to support her. And I don't know who is asking to see more of Dick Cheney, except a very narrow group of people. But here he is, and the most dangerous person in our nation's history. I think there's a case to be made for plenty more dangerous people than Donald Trump. If you're against Trump, of course, it's very recent. You don't know what's going to happen. You're going to say it's the worst. But if you look at everything, there's plenty out there worse than this. I think people might think Cheney himself is worse.
He tried to steal the last election using lies and violence to keep himself in power after the voters had rejected him.
Okay, I don't know how much violence Trump used. The January 6th stuff, I know that's the Cheney's absolute bread and butter, and to them that was the most violent thing basically ever. The lies part, some stuff Trump should have said differently. There's no question about that. But I'm sure there's legitimate questions about policies that were implemented for COVID with certain ballots and verification. And some people do have questions about that. And a lot of times wanting to get answers on that is immediately rejected, that you can't want to verify anything or ask why this was changed. You're not allowed to do that. So that stuff is legitimate, I think. Anyway.
He is a coward. A real man wouldn't lie to his supporters. He lost his election, and he lost big. I know it, he knows it, and deep down, I think most Republicans know it.
Okay, I don't know how big it was. Tiny percentage in several states. The Electoral College, a little bit bigger, but when Hillary lost, I don't know where Cheney was then to tell Clinton that she lost big and don't push any of these Russia narratives and just accept it. That didn't happen.
Lynn and I are so proud of Liz for standing up for the truth, doing what's right, honoring her oath to the Constitution, when so many in our party are too scared to do so.
See, the thing about Trump is, even if you do think he completely lost and he should not have done any of the things he did, there's some of those people, but they might look at the other side and say they're worse. If the other side, the Democrats, if they got everything they wanted, they might be scared of those policies in that country. So they would back somebody who they might not like, but has at least the direction that's less scary for them to live in. It's sort of like what people did with Biden. A lot of people thought, yeah, he had allegations about corruption, misconduct, sexual stuff, but people just sucked it up. They said, yeah, but this other guy is worse. And some people do that with Trump. They think the other side is worse. You don't have to agree with it, but that's what's happening. I don't know who he's really talking to. I think if you're on the progressive side, you think this guy is a war criminal. The Cheneys are the epitome of establishment politics, and they're just trying to preserve that status quo. And if you're a fan of Trump, of course, you reject this guy. This is the neoconservatism that has failed in so many ways. So this is really only about, I guess, the never-Trump Republicans and a few establishment Democrats. That's the coalition. And most people reject that coalition very strongly. The sad fact is most of the people in the media are part of or sympathetic to that coalition.
Liz is fearless. She never backs down from a fight.
And I like how they have the violin going in the background, like this is some melodramatic thing he's really trying to appeal to you with. But again, the Cheneys, they're not popular at all. And I don't know how much they even bash the Democrats. That's the problem. In some ways, they're all on the same team to preserve that establishment. But when it comes down to voting, as to why Democrats would like Cheney when she would vote against most of what Biden would advocate for and in favor of what Trump advocated for, it's kind of bewildering as to where she would get any support from. But I guess if you just hate Trump so much, you will support people like the Cheneys.
There is nothing more important she will ever do than lead the effort to make sure Donald Trump is never again near the Oval Office. And she will succeed. I am Dick Cheney. I proudly voted for my daughter. I hope you will too.
I'm Liz Cheney, and I approve this message.
Okay, well, that's the Cheney ad. It appears Cheney is almost certain to go down in the Wyoming primary that's coming up. This is kind of a last-ditch effort. It's similar to when Mitt Romney came out and gave a speech warning us about we can't support Trump. He's dangerous, and he will lose, and threat to democracy, all that stuff. You name it, it was all said. And Trump got through it, whether you love him or hate him. The Cheneys, I think they're old news. This is going to do nothing. But again, that very small group of people will be fawning all over this ad. Everybody else on the other sides will hate it for one reason or another. So that's a look at this Liz Cheney ad. Let me know what you think of this ad down below. And if you enjoy this channel, please like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.